Here's how to do an awesome wax resist animal painting using watercolor. So at my table I've got my water, my brushes, my watercolor paints, and I have some crayons. I also have a picture of an animal that I would like to draw. So the first thing I'm going to do is just look at the animal and draw it, and I want to draw it real big. So here's the horn for the rhino. Here's the nose. I don't have to draw super detailed. I just want to draw big. Here's the eye. Here's part of the neck. Got some wrinkles in the neck. Here's a wrinkle in the leg. Here's one part of the leg. So I've zoomed in. So I've really only drawn this part, which is great because the bigger you draw it, the better it comes out. And then I want to do something cool with the background. And I know in this photo there's like rocks and stuff, so I could do little texture lines, just little marks, make it look rough back there. Just something to help really make the rhino stand out. You could also put like clouds in the background if you're drawing like a bird. You could do trees, grass, water. You think about what would look cool with your animal. And then the next step is pick a color and go over your pencil lines. And I'm going to push really hard. So I'm going to put yellow over all my pencil lines. I'm not really worried about making mistakes because this is going to be a very expressive painting. And I think I'm going to take blue to go over my marks in the background, just something different. Just picking out colors I want to use. They don't have to be the animal's natural color. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the nostril and the eye with the blue. Now the fun part. So I'm going to take my watercolor. I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to decide I'm going to start with, like, you know, a rhino's skin is gray, so I'm going to take some black here, put it in the lid, add some water, stir it up. On these paper mats that we're working on, you can test a color out, decide, okay, yeah, that's gray, that's what I want. And then I'm just going to paint right over top of the crayon. You can think about shading. If I know that this leg should be darker, I can just go in, stir up the black really good, or whatever color you're using, and paint in some more, because the more you layer the watercolor paint, the darker you can get parts of it. So I want a shadow on like one side of the horn, shadow here, shadow under the nose. Now I'm going to take a completely different color for the background, something that will stand out. So I'm thinking maybe red or yellow, or maybe even a mix of both and do like an orange. I'm just going to fill in the background. Trying not to accidentally paint into my black because it could bleed through. There we go. Now my rhino looks mean, and he really stands out. Then of course you should always be proud of your work. You You should always sign your work. That is a wax resist watercolor painting. Now you try it.